It was a quiet night in Darlin Hollow, a small town far from the big cities. The people slept peacefully, unaware that something strange was falling from the sky. At midnight, a bright light appeared above the forest. It moved fast like a shooting star, but it was bigger and louder. Then dash boom, a loud crash shook the trees. Birds flew away. Dogs barked. People came out of their homes. Did you hear that? One man said. Something fell, said another. Maybe. A plane. The next morning, a search party went into the woods. They found broken trees, a small crater, and a body. She looked like a woman, but something was different. Her skin was pale with a silver glow. Her hair was white like snow, and her eyes were wide open, glassy and still. She wasn't breathing, no heartbeat. No. The sheriff looked at her and said, "She's not from here." "Not from Earth?" The others stepped back. Fear spread in the air. "What should we do with her?" Someone asked. "Bury her?" The sheriff replied, "She's dead." They took her to the old cemetery at the edge of town. No name, no prayers, no coffin, just a hole in the ground. Some people watched. Some just walked away. "She's not human," one old woman whispered. "She's not our problem." But someone was watching. A quiet boy named Ray. Ray was 21, worked in a hardware store, and lived with his grandfather. He didn't talk much. He was different. He felt things others didn't, and when he saw her, he felt something. She didn't look dead to him. She looked waiting. That night, Ray went back to the cemetery. The moon was high, the air was cold. He walked to her grave, marked only by a small stone. He stood there for a while. Silence. Then a sound, a soft, slow thump. From the ground. Ray froze. He bent down, put his ear to the soil. Another sound. Thump, thump, thump. His eyes widened. "Is someone alive down there?" he whispered. He ran back home, breathing hard. He couldn't sleep. The sound played again and again in his mind. The next day he asked the sheriff, "What if she wasn't dead?" The sheriff laughed. "Don't be stupid. She was cold as ice." "But what if aliens are different? Go home, Ray." That night, Ray returned. This time he brought a shovel. For 2 hours he dug, quietly, carefully. Dirt covered his hands and face. His heart beat faster with every scoop. Finally, the shovel hit something hard. A piece of her suit. He dropped the shovel, used his hands to pull away the dirt. Then he saw her face. Pale, but not stiff. Her chest moved slightly. She was breathing, very slowly. Her eyes were closed, but her lips moved. She whispered something soft, broken, strange. Ray leaned closer. "Who?" "Man," she said. Ray jumped back, falling into the dirt. His heart pounded. She was alive. He looked around. The night was quiet. No one saw. He pulled her out of the grave and wrapped her in his jacket. She was cold but not dead. He didn't know what to do, but he knew he couldn't leave her. He took her home, hiding her in the shed behind his house. Inside the shed, he laid her on an old bed. She whispered again, "Help me." Ray brought her water. She didn't drink. Her eyes stayed closed. But her breathing grew stronger. He sat beside her, confused and scared. "Who are you?" he asked. "Why were you in the sky?" No answer, just silence. He looked at her hand. There was something stuck to her wrist, a small, glowing device. With strange symbols. He didn't understand any of it. But he understood one thing. She wasn't supposed to die. Someone left her to rot. Someone wanted her gone. But why? And what was she doing on Earth? That night, as Ray sat watching over her, a car stopped outside his house. A man stepped out wearing a black suit. He looked at the shed, then walked away into the dark. Ray didn't see him, but the danger had already begun. Ray didn't sleep that night. His eyes stayed on the strange woman lying in the old shed. She was breathing slow, quiet, like a whisper in the air. Her skin had a soft glow, and her silver-white hair spread across the old blanket like frozen light. He sat beside her with a flashlight and a warm cloth. Her skin felt cold, like touching metal, but somehow she was still alive. "Can you hear me?" Ray asked softly. No answer. Her lips moved again, just a little. Her voice was weak. "What? Ray quickly picked up a bottle and brought it. Close to her lips, she sipped just a drop, then two. Her throat moved. He sighed with relief. You're alive. Really alive. Morning light touched the edge of the shed. Ray peeked outside. His grandfather was still asleep. No one had seen him bring her home. He looked back at her. She moved her hand slowly, touching the edge of the bed. Her fingers glowed faint blue where they touched the wood. What are you? Ray whispered. She opened her eyes. They were bright like liquid silver. She looked at him, but not with fear. She looked confused. Name, she said slowly. Iya, Arya, Ray repeated. That's your name? She nodded. Once, her body shook with the effort. Where are you from? He asked. Are there more like you? Her eyes stared at the roof. Far, too far. Then she closed her eyes again. Ray didn't go to work. He stayed in the shed, watching over her. He cleaned her face, gave her water, and tried to understand. Her strange device, it was still attached to her wrist like a small glass screen. He touched it by accident. Suddenly it lit up. A soft hum filled the room. Lines of light appeared in the Era star map. Floating shapes, dots, alien writing. Ray stepped back in shock. What is this? He whispered. Ariya opened her eyes. Tracker, she said. They follow me. Who's following you? Ray asked. Who are they? She didn't answer. She just stared at the map with fear in her eyes. Then she touched a point on the floating map. It zoomed in. A shape appeared like a dark, sharp ship. Ray felt cold. Is that coming here? Arya nodded. Soon. Suddenly she gasped. Her body arched in pain. Her hand glowed. The device blinked red. Ray rushed forward. What's happening? Her voice cracked. Changing. My body must adapt. Her skin glowed brighter for a moment, then dimmed again. She was sweating. Now, her breathing sped up. Ray held her hand. You'll be okay. You're safe here, I promise. Arya looked at him, really looked at him. Her expression changed, softer. Her hand gripped his for just a second. Who, man? Kind? She asked. Ray nodded. Yeah, I'm human. My name's Ray. She whispered, Ray. Then she passed out that night. The shed was dark except for the glow of her skin and the faint red blinking of the tracker. Ray tried to sleep on the floor, but a sound outside woke him. Crunch, footsteps. He looked out the small window. A man in a black suit stood near the fence. Ray froze. The man didn't move. He was looking around, slow, calm, like he was searching. Then he looked straight at the shed. Ray pulled back quickly, heart pounding. He waited. The footsteps moved away. Then silence. Next morning, Arya sat up slowly. She was stronger now. Her eyes were clearer. Ray brought her food, but she only looked at it. Not saying, I eat light. She touched the sunlight coming through the broken window. Her hand absorbed it like a plant. Your body is like solar power? Ray asked. Arya nodded. Energy. But weak now, still healing. Ray showed her the device again. This tracker, is it dangerous? She frowned. Yes, it calls them. If it break, they come faster. So you're hiding from your own people? Yes. Why? Arya was quiet for a long time. Then she said, they kill what they can't control. I say no, I ran. Ray stared at her. You're running from them, and they left you to die? She looked at him. Yes. Ray stood and looked at the floating map again. The red blinking dot was getting closer to Earth. We don't have much time, he said. We have to move. Arya touched his arm. Ray, if they find me, they destroy all? Ray's face turned serious. He looked outside. Then back at her? Then I won't let them find you. The morning air was thick with silence. In the small shed behind Ray's house, Arya sat cross-legged, her glowing fingers tracing symbols in the dirt floor. Her skin was less pale now. The glow from her veins had softened, but her eyes remained bright silver, watchful, cautious. Ray sat nearby, holding a notebook filled with sketches and questions. He had written down everything Arya had said so far, trying to make sense of it. But there were too many blanks. Too much mystery. You remember anything else? Ray asked. Arya looked up slowly. Pieces, memory broken. She reached to the small device on her wrist. With a swipe of her fingers, the device lit up again. The same star map appeared, floating in the air like magic. But this time it shifted. A new shape formed, a spiral space station, dark and sharp, hovering above a red planet. That was my ship, Arya said softly. Before crash, Ray watched the image. It doesn't look friendly. She nodded. Not friendly, not free. She pointed at a smaller, blinking dot on the map. This, my escape pod? I leave during storm. They try stop me. Ray stared at her. Why would they stop you? Arya hesitated. I know too much. I'd change mind. I not follow mission. What? Mission? Her eyes darkened. Observe Earth, study weakness, prepare for attack. Ray's breath caught in his throat. You mean they were planning to invade? Arya nodded. But I say, no, I see Earth, I see life. I say stop? Ray stood up and paced the room. His mind spun in circles. So they left you to die because you refused? She looked down. Yes, I was not useful anymore. He looked at the device. The blinking red dot was still there, closer than yesterday. They're coming to find you, he said, or maybe to finish the job. Arya closed the map and looked at Ray. If they come, they bring fire. Later that day, Ray took her to his grandfather's old workshop, locked and dusty for years. Inside were broken machines, old radios, and one large table with tools scattered across it. What is this place? Arya asked. My grandpa used to fix everything here, Ray said. Cars, drones, radios, even military junk. He pulled a tarp off a rusted satellite transmitter. He said this could talk to the sky. Arya walked around it slowly. She touched a broken panel. Her fingertips glowed again. Suddenly, the machine blinked to life. Lights flickered. A low hum filled the room. Ray jumped. You fixed it? Partly. Needs more energy, she said. But we can use this, for what? To send signal. Or block one, Ray's eyes lit up. You mean we can block the tracker? Arya nodded. Yes, maybe, if we try. They work together. Ray held wires Arya charged parts with. Her hand as they worked. She started to remember more. I was born in a lab, she said. Made, not born like humans. You mean you're not natural? Ray asked. No, I am biotech, half living, half code. I learn fast, I change. She touched her temple. Memory is cloud. Data comes slow. Ray frowned. Do you even have feelings? She looked at him. Now I do. Maybe too much. They stared at each other for a long second. Then she turned back to the machine. By nightfall, the satellite dish was running. A low signal pulsed through the air, invisible but strong. Arya checked her device. The red dot had stopped blinking. It worked, she said softly. They can't see me now, Ray smiled. That gives us time, but not much, right? No, they still come. Just slower. Suddenly her body tensed. She fell to her knees, holding her head. Arya? Ray ran to her side. She gasped. Memory returning, her body shook. Images flashed through her mind. She saw giant machines, glowing halls, faces without names, and voices saying, Earth is weak, ready for takeover. She screamed, then went silent. Ray helped her sit. What did you see? She looked at him with fear in her voice. They not just come for me. They come for all. That night, Ray stood outside the shed, looking at the stars. Behind him, Arya sat in silence. Staring at the map again, he turned to her. You said they're powerful, but can they be stopped? She looked at him, her voice firm for the first time. Only with humans, together, not alone, Ray nodded. Then we fight together, Arya's eyes softened. You help me, even when I'm not human. Why? Ray smiled a little. Because you feel more human than most people I know. As the stars moved above them, neither of them knew a second ship had entered Earth's orbit, and someone else was already watching them. From much closer than they thought, the wind howled through the trees as the town of Darlan Hollow slept quietly. But something had changed in the sky. High above, hidden by clouds, a shape moved, dark, silent, watching. It was not a star. It was a ship, black as space itself, no lights, no sound. Only one purpose. Find the traitor. Inside the shed, Arya sat alone, her back straight, eyes closed. Her breathing was calm, but inside her mind, alarms were ringing. She could feel them, the hunters. They're here, she whispered. Ray was in the house, making food. He walked into the shed with 2 plates. What's wrong? Arya opened her eyes. They've entered the sky. 1 ship. 2 soldiers, they are not far. Ray froze. How do you know? I feel them. We are connected, all of us. Same system. Ray looked out the window. The stars looked normal, peaceful, but something in the air felt wrong, heavy. Can they find you here? He asked. Arya nodded. They cannot see me. By tracker now. But they can smell energy, movement, sound, and fear. Ray swallowed hard. What do they look like? She paused. They look human, but they are not. Their skin copies yours, their eyes are cold, and they do not talk. They kill. The next morning, 2 strangers arrived in town. They wore black suits, black gloves, and thin glasses. Their car was dark gray with no license plate. They knocked on doors, showed fake IDs, and asked the same question over and over. Have you seen anything fall from the sky? One old woman pointed at the forest. Weeks ago, bright light, very loud. The taller man smiled. Thank you. But the smile never reached his eyes. At the hardware store, Ray heard the news. Some agents asking about UFOs, the cashier whispered. Government, maybe? Ray's heart sank. He rushed home. Arya was sitting by the broken satellite in the workshop. She was fixing wires faster than Ray could follow. They're in the town, he said. 2 of them asking questions. Arya stood. We must go. Where? Somewhere far, quiet, where sky is not open, Ray thought. The old quarry, 5 miles east. No cell towers, no lights. Arya nodded. Yes, that will hide us. Night fell fast. Ray packed food, clothes, and tools into his truck. Arya wore a long coat to cover her glowing skin. As they drove into the forest, headlights behind them appeared suddenly, a car following. Ray's knuckles tightened on the steering wheel. That's them. Arya turned to look. Do not stop. The road became narrow. Trees surrounded them like guards. The car behind them sped up. Suddenly a loud bang, a gunshot. The truck's back window shattered. Go faster, Arya said. Ray turned sharply into a side path, tires skidding on the dirt. Branches hit the windshield, but he didn't stop. Another shot missed, then silence. The black car didn't follow. Ray drove until they reached the edge of the old quarry. It was deep, wide, and full of shadows. They hid the truck under thick branches and walked down into the rocks. Inside a small cave near the quarry wall, Ray lit a lantern. Arya sat down, breathing slowly. They are not just hunters, she said. They are called shadows. They erase what does not obey. Ray sat across from her. Can we fight them? Arya looked at him. Only if we understand them. They are machines inside, but they wear skin, so they blend. She touched her wrist. The tracker glowed again. This time, a new icon appeared, a red skull. They've marked me. That means full attack. Soon, Ray clenched his fists. Then, we need weapons. At sunrise, Ray returned to the workshop alone. He knew the hunters might be nearby, but he needed his grandfather's tools. He moved fast, grabbing wires, batteries, old tech, and one thing he'd hidden long ago, a homemade imp bomb his grandfather once built, just in case aliens came. He left before anyone saw him. Or so he thought. Back at the cave, Arya was standing near the edge, looking at the sky. She turned when Ray arrived. They are close, she said. Less than 1 day. Ray showed her the EMP. This can knock out machines, might slow them down. Arya's eyes lit up. Good, we use it, but carefully. Suddenly, a sound echoed through the quarry. A voice, robotic, cold, returned the subject. You have 1 hour. Arya's face turned hard. They have found us. Ray stood beside her. Then we don't run anymore. She looked at him. You are brave, he smiled. No, I'm just tired of hiding. Together they walked back into the cave, preparing for the night. Above them, the sky darkened again, this time with more than just clouds. The cave was quiet, but the air felt heavy. Outside, the sky turned gray. Clouds rolled in fast, thick like smoke. Something unnatural moved above them. Ray sat beside the small fire, his face lit by flickering light. Arya stood near the cave wall, her silver eyes staring into the shadows. Her face looked calm, but her fingers trembled. "They're waiting," she said softly. "They won't attack yet. They want me to fear." Ray glanced at her. "But you're not afraid?" She didn't answer right away. Then she whispered, "I wasn't made to fear. But now, I feel too much." Ray stood. "Arya, I need to know. The truth, all of it. Who are you really?" She turned to face him. "I was born inside a lab. Not like human babies. I came from machines, metal, and light. They call us prototypes. I was number 7, Arya 7. They built me to be perfect." Ray listened closely. Arya spoke slowly, choosing each word carefully. "My mission was to observe Earth, study humans. Watch how you live, how you fight, how you fall. I was supposed to learn everything and return it to the command corps." Ray stepped closer. "So your people, they were planning an invasion?" "Yes," she said. "They've done it before. Other worlds, other cities, always the same. Enter quietly. Learn, then destroy what resists." Ray's jaw tightened. "Why Earth?" Arya looked at the fire. "Because Earth is loud, alive, full of feeling, not like the cold planets. Your emotions, your art, your music, your chaos, it scares them. They want to control it." Ray frowned. "But you didn't follow the plan. Why?" She looked him in the eyes. "Because Earth changed me." She paused, searching for words. "I landed here. I watched people. I saw children laugh. I saw lovers cry. I saw an old woman feed birds every morning, even when she had no food for herself. These things are not logical, but they are powerful." Her voice cracked slightly. "One day I refused to send data. I told the command corps I would not help. Destroy you." Ray stepped back. "And they turned against you." "Yes, they marked me as broken, unloyal. I tried to escape. I stole a pod, ran through a storm, crashed here. And the rest, you know." Ray sat down slowly, trying to process it all. "So what now?" he asked. "Are they coming for Earth?" Arya nodded. "They are watching, waiting. If I am not found, they send more. If I am found, they destroy and erase." Ray stared into the fire. "We don't stand a chance, do we?" Arya walked toward him. "You do. Because humans fight for more than logic. You fight for love, for freedom. That is what makes you dangerous." Ray looked up at her. "Then we have to warn people. Tell the world." Arya shook her head. "They won't believe, and the shadows will erase anyone who speaks." Ray sighed. "So it's just us?" She nodded. "For now." There was a long silence between them. Then Arya reached into the small pouch at her side and pulled out a silver disc. She placed it on the cave wall. A hologram appeared. Her world. Dark skies, giant towers, endless rows of machines moving without feeling. Her people had no laughter. "No music, only control. This is where I come from," she said. "Cold, efficient, no soul." Ray watched the image, heart heavy. He turned to her. "Do you miss it?" "No," she replied. "I miss the stars I never saw. The dreams I wasn't allowed to have." She sat down beside him. For the first time she looked tired. Not from her body, but from her past. Ray looked at her and asked, "So, what do you want now?" She answered without hesitation. "To live, to feel, to fight for this world, your world." Ray smiled a little. "Then you're one of us." "Her?" Eyes softened. "Maybe I am." Suddenly, the tracker on her wrist blinked yellow. "They are moving," she said. "Closer." Ray stood up. "Then let's prepare. If they're coming, we'll fight." She stood beside him. Together. Outside the cave, high above, the second ship turned. It released a signal into the sky, loud and strange. A sound no human could hear, but every animal in the forest ran. Even the wind seemed to pause. The shadows had found the signal again. They were coming. Back in the cave, Ray connected wires to the EMP. Arya adjusted the satellite piece. Sparks. Flew, energy hummed. Just one good shot, Ray said. That's all we need. Arya placed her hand on the machine. Her glow moved into the metal. It will be ready, she said, as they worked side by side. Neither noticed the small camera floating far above them, watching, recording, sending signals back into the clouds. The invasion hadn't started yet. But Earth had just been added to the list. Asterisk, the cave shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. Stones cracked. The sound of a distant explosion rolled through the valley like thunder. Ray and Arya looked at each other. No words were needed. They had arrived, far. Above the Earth, hidden in the clouds, the enemy ship lowered its shields. It was shaped like a spear, black and sharp. It did not glow. It did not roar. It simply moved, silent and deadly. Inside, the shadows prepared. No faces. No hearts. Just orders. Find the traitor. Erase the witnesses. Burn the rest. Ray checked the EMP bomb again. It was small, round, and wired by hand but powerful. He had one chance. Arya stood nearby, her fingers glowing as she transferred energy into a modified signal device. If this works, she said, it will block their minds for 30 seconds, maybe more. Ray nodded. 30 seconds might be enough. They packed quickly, MP, power cells, wires, and the satellite box. We go now, Arya said. No more hiding. Outside the cave, the forest was strangely quiet. Not a single bird, not even wind. The trees seemed frozen. Ray's truck was still hidden under branches. They climbed in, started the engine, and headed toward the radio tower. On NavLD and it was old, rusted, forgotten. But it had one thing Arya needed: height. If I reach the top, she said, I can send a signal through their fleet. Jam them. Blind them. And if they stop you? Ray asked. She looked at him. Then you throw the EMP. Back in town, a man named Dr. Elias Morton stood in a dark basement staring at a strange monitor. He was old, gray-bearded, and used to be called Crazy. Today, the screen glowed with alien code. Lines, symbols, and one image. Araya's face. There. Here, he whispered. She's real. He opened a locker. Inside, a prototype weapon human-made, alien-inspired. Something the government never finished. He had finished it in secret. Ray and Arya reached the mountain base. The tower loomed above them like a skeleton in the fog. She looked up. I'll climb, you guard below, Ray nodded. Be careful. As she climbed, he set up the EMP behind a rock, ready to trigger. The sky grew darker. Not night, just shadow. Something massive blocked the sun. Ray looked up. A ship hovered, almost invisible, directly above the tower. They found us, he muttered. Arya reached the top and placed the device against the metal beam. Her hand glowed brighter, pushing energy into the frame. Below, a sharp sound rang out, a scream, but not human. Ray turned. Two shadows stepped from the trees, moving fast. Their skin flickered like static. Their eyes were blank. Ray fired his homemade flare, gun one hit. Direct. The shadow burned for 2 seconds, then kept walking. They're not stopping, Ray said, backing up. A third shadow dropped from the ship above. This one was bigger, stronger. Ray hit the EMP trigger. Boom. A blast of white light exploded across the forest. The shadows froze. Sparks flew from their necks. Their eyes turned black. They dropped to the ground, twitching. Arya looked down from the tower. Now! She shouted. She activated the signal. High above, the alien ship's lights flickered. Inside, control panels cracked. The ship wobbled, lost balance, and dropped lower. Her signal worked. Their minds were jammed, but only for a moment. Inside the enemy ship, backup systems kicked in. The shadows rebooted. The ship stabilized. They sent a message to Earth. Begin full scan. Target: human resistance. Dr. Morton, watching from his basement, heard the signal through a stolen military radio. Too late to hide now, he said. Time to show the world. He pressed a red button on his table. All across a hidden network, old military satellites blinked awake. Old tech. Rusty code. But still dangerous. A satellite aimed at the alien ship. Fired one pulse beam of energy. Direct hit. The ship rocked. Arya looked up from the tower. That wasn't me, Ray smiled. Someone's helping? More shadows began. Landing in the forest, 5, then 10. They moved like machines, but now humans were ready. Ray tossed a second flare grenade. Dr. Morton's defense satellite hit 2 more. From the mountain, Arya sent out one final pulse. The shadows stopped. All of them. Her signal had shut them down for now. Ray climbed the tower to reach her. You did it, he said. She looked exhausted. No, we bought time, that's all. Below, one shadow began to rise again slowly. Its system rebooting. Its head turned toward the tower. Ray aimed his flare gun. But it was too late. Suddenly, a blue beam shot from the woods. The shadow fell. Burning. Dr. Morton stepped into view with his weapon. Nice fireworks, kids, he said. Mind if I join? The team? Arya blinked. Who are you? Someone who believed in aliens before you crashed into our backyard? He grinned. As night fell, 3 people stood on Mount Veldon. Behind them, the alien ship limped back into the clouds. They had won one fight, but Arya said quietly, this was not the invasion. This was only the first wave. Ray nodded. Then we need more than bombs. Double quotes. Dr. Morton smiled. Good thing I've been building a few surprises. Above them, the stars were no longer silent. The stars above Earth burned brighter now, not from light, but from war. 3 alien ships had entered the sky, each one larger than the last. They hovered like shadows over the continents, silent and cold. Earth was not ready. Cities went dark. Satellites crashed. News channels stopped, but not everyone was afraid. In a hidden bunker below Mount Veldon, Ray, Arya, and Dr. Elias Morton stood before a glowing screen. The map showed red zones across the planet. The invasion had begun. We don't have time, Ray said. They're spreading fast. Dr. Morton turned knobs on the console. I've activated the last satellite, but one isn't enough. Arya stepped forward. I have a way. But it means giving everything. Ray looked at her. What do you mean? She touched the glowing device on her wrist. This was made to connect me to the command core. If I go to the signal tower and plug in, I can overload their entire system. Ray stepped back. That could kill you. I know, she said softly. But if I don't, Earth is finished. Dr. Morton frowned. You'd be turning yourself into a weapon, Arya nodded. I was made to destroy. Now I choose what I destroy. Ray shook his head. There has to be another way. There isn't, she said. They will not stop, but I can stop them. A long silence filled the bunker. Then Ray whispered, if you go, I go too. The signal tower stood alone in the dead center of Zone Red 7. Once a peaceful valley, now covered in ash and silence. Alien drones floated through the sky. Shadow soldiers scanned the ground, hunting any signs of human resistance. Ray and Arya moved quickly. Arya wore a black hood and long coat. Ray carried a small transmitter and the last EMP pulse in his backpack. They reached the base of the tower at nightfall. This is it, she said. Once I connect, their ships will lose control. But the energy will break me. Ray clenched his fists. No, it won't. I won't let it. Arya looked at him, her voice gentle. Ray, you saved me. You gave me something they never could. What? He asked. She touched his chest. A heart. Inside the tower, lights flickered. The control room had been taken over by alien tech. Black cables moved like snakes across the floor. A central core pulsed red, connected directly to the enemy fleet. Arya stepped forward. They built this from Earth's own tech. But they didn't expect me to return? She placed her hand on the core. Her glow pulsed into the system. The cables lit up. The tower shook. Suddenly, alarms. Red lights flashed. A voice echoed through the walls. Traitor detected. A ship descended outside. A shadow commander stepped out. Taller than the others, half machine, half fire. It entered the tower. Ray stepped in front of Arya. Stay back, he shouted. The shadow raised its arm. A weapon formed. Ray pulled the MP from his bag. Boom. The flash lit up the room. The shadow froze just long enough. Arya pushed more energy into the core. Her body shook. Her skin cracked. Blue light poured from her eyes. Ray. Run to her side. Stop, it's too much. She looked at him. This is my choice. Decay screamed. A shockwave blasted from the tower into the sky. In space, the alien fleet sparked. Ships began to fall from orbit. One by one, dead, silent, powerless, across. Earth, screens lit up again. Cities blinked back to life. The invasion was breaking. Inside the tower, Arya collapsed to her knees. Smoke rose from her back. Her skin no longer glowed. Ray caught her in his arms. Arya? Stay with me, she smiled faintly. Did we win? Ray nodded. You did it, you saved us. Her voice was fading. I wanted to feel alive, and I did. Ray's eyes filled with tears. You are alive. You're more human than anyone. Her hand touched his face one last time. Then she closed her eyes. 1 week later, people gathered in Darlan Hollow's park. There was no grave, only a statue made of silver. And light. It showed Arya standing tall, eyes to the stars. Hand open toward Earth, the plate below it read, she was not from here. But she chose to stay. She chose to save us, Arya of Earth. Ray stood beside the statue, holding a small device. It was Arya's tracker. Cracked, but still warm. Behind him, Dr. Morton approached. She changed everything, he said. Ray nodded. She gave us a future, Morton smiled. And now we prepare. Because if they return, Ray looked at the sky, we'll be ready. Far beyond the stars, in the darkest corner of space, a screen blinked inside an alien ship. Status failed, but then a new line appeared. Earth, resistance confirmed, new threat level, high. The screen turned black, but in a hidden chamber, a pair of silver eyes opened and a voice whispered, End? No, this is just the beginning.